Okay, hello everybody. This is Christian Michael again with Local Story TV, standing on my toes because I'm standing next to one very tall Councilmember Gene James, who asked to meet with me post the protest today. So we're going to turn it around. Gene, thank you for joining Local Story TV. So what happened today? In your assessment, do you want to make a comment on what you saw when you were down at the protest today?
Yes, I'll comment on that. Today's not a great day. It's not a banner day for San Clemente. I'm saddened by the fact that we had to put our Orange County Sheriff's deputies in the position of confronting citizens. I'm saddened that citizens felt it necessary to act in a manner of civil disobedience. And I'm saddened mostly by the fact that our city government could have avoided this entire situation. For weeks, I have been complaining about this fence. The fence serves little or no purpose. We have a situation in San Clemente right now where our businesses are hanging on by a thread. And some of our businesses put out banners to say we're open. Yet our code compliance officers go and enforce our banner ordinance when all they're doing is trying to stay open in a most difficult, unprecedented economic situation. Yet, you go down to the bottom of the hill to the Pier Bowl, and we have this ugly fence, and it's still there right now. I was home, I was watching it. In the days preceding, on Tuesday night, City Council locked up 2-2 on a number of motions to try to take down this fence. Councilmember Ham, Councilmember Ward are voted against taking it down. Mayor Pro Tem Ferguson and I did everything in our powers to bring down the fence. When I saw that this demonstration was going to occur, I immediately wrote the interim, I should say, city manager, and said, why are we having this confrontation? Take down the fence. The fence serves no purpose. Particularly in light of the fact that our state beaches to our north and to our south have opened up the state parking lots. Why was our parking lot still closed? But on Tuesday night, I was willing to even have that compromise of keeping our parking lots closed, but taking down the fences.
Because originally we had the barricades up there. And
Right.
were those effective?
I think they were effective.
Okay.
So I have no idea why we put up the fence.
So the protester, Alan Hostetter, says he believes that fencing came up as a result of the protest. By the third one, they were meeting down at the Pier Bowl, and it was a way the city was going to prevent them from meeting in the Pier Bowl. Do you think there's any truth to that?
I have no idea if there's any truth to that. That would be a question you would have to ask city management, because city council there was never any coordination or conferring with city council on those fences going
Well,
up.
that's the interesting thing, because there was never a vote to put up the fencing, and yet a vote was needed to take down the fencing, and that motion failed. So now the city manager is saying that he doesn't have the power because it went to a vote. Can you make sense of that for us?
You related it very accurately, and I can't make sense of it. So when I approached the city manager via email this morning, he responded that he no longer has the authority to take them down. But let me make this point clear. This city put these sheriff's deputies in the position of being there, confronting citizens. We would have been well served just to have taken down that fence this morning or last night.
And those requests, I'm sure, repeatedly were made to the city manager. And some might say, none of this would have happened had the protest organizer, Alan Hostetter, instigated this whole thing, that he took it a step too far. Do you want to make a comment on that?
The protest organizer is going to have to answer for his own actions. He's not part of the city, so I can't really comment on what he could have or should have done. What I will say is he was doing what he thought was right. Doesn't matter whether I agree or disagree with him. You know, he was acting within his constitutional rights. Up to the point of taking down the fence.
Many of the protest supporters, once they saw you on scene, they were applauding you for being there. You made some statements. At one point, you had made the statement that there is no right answer here, and then that disgruntled some people. So now, from where we are and everything you saw, going forward, is there a right answer?
Yes, take down the fence.
Okay.
That's the right answer. When I said there was no right answer, at that point, Alan was going to get arrested. Sheriff's deputies were approaching the crowd, and my primary purpose of being there was to ensure that no one was injured, that everyone was able to exercise their constitutional rights, and if that constitutional right included them being arrested, I wanted to make sure that there was no violence associated with it, that we treated the deputies with respect, that the deputies treated the citizens with respect, and that was my purpose for being there. I felt very uncomfortable with the message that was being broadcast over the loudspeaker. There was discussion of how they were going to disperse. I think I heard the word non-lethal force, which means gas. And so I was very uncomfortable with that. I approached Alan and tried to speak with Alan and reason with the crowd that had assembled around Alan on the other side of the fence. And when that message was broadcast, I really lost the ability to influence many people, and it really upset a lot of people. That being said, the Orange County Sheriff's Department is probably the premier sheriff's department in the country. They have protocols, they have procedures they have to follow.
So going forward, what I see is possibly there's a meeting tonight. Possibly the interim city manager might be persuaded to take down the fencing, or possibly we give this another couple of weeks. I know council members Ward and Ham had been advocating for staff to do some more research when the appropriate time is to take down the fencing. I laid out there, I think, 3 different things that could happen, 2 or 3. What am I missing? What else could happen?
First off, let's talk about the fence just for a moment. I think for many people, that fence is a symbol of what the state government is doing to us.
Just from it being a fence and not a symbol, it's interesting or curious that our beaches are now open, and that was the best news. But the people in Talega, North San Clemente, Southeast San Clemente, who do not live a stone's throw from the beach, cannot park right down there. You know, do you have any message or something to say for those residents who are saying, but what about us? We don't live down there.
So Councilmember Ham and Ward continued to go back to they want to see something from staff. They want to see something from staff. I'm sorry, City Council runs the city, not staff. It's awfully simplistic to know that if you close up all the parking's going to be an issue. And we need to open up the parking. We need to open up the parking lots at North Beach. We need to open up the parking lot at the Pier Bowl and all the street parking and return to some degree of normalcy in this city.
Okay. Thank you, Council Member Gene James, for being here behind us. If you can see, we've got the Orange County Sheriff Command Center for those who were arrested today, including protester Alan Hostetter, and I imagine they're just wrapping up all their details of what happened with the protest today down at the Pier Bowl in San Clemente. This is Christian Michael reporting for Local Story TV.